It is March, and this is typical. We have pretty wild weather pattern with some strong to severe thunderstorms, some heavy rain, snow on the backside, windy conditions moving on through as we went throughout your Wednesday in the middle. Heavy showers, if you will. Some gusty winds with that. The severe weather on that southern and eastern side of the storm. A big, mature March cyclone. As we go through the morning hours on your Thursday, moving off towards the east with the snow showers, still gusty conditions, that cold front goes off the east coast, things start to calm down before our next system moves on towards the east, coming out of Wyoming, back in towards portions of Nebraska. Iowa will have a little band of snow in towards Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and then in towards portions of your upstate New York and into Pennsylvania. It'll be a fairly narrow band of up to about an inch. That front moves off towards the east, falls apart. Plenty of rain for the deep south. Not much going on except for portions of the west. Going to get into a very busy pattern as we go early into the middle portions of the week. Heavy rain in the lower elevations, heavy snow into the high terrain with not much going out across the east. We go cold for the weekend and then we have a nice warming trend. We'll show you that in just a little bit. But gusty winds, 35 miles per hour, some 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts possible going throughout portions of your Thursday and then even into early Friday as you go into the northeast, and it'll start to die down once we get into the late portions of your Friday at that point. This is going to be the pattern. We're going to see that brief cold spell and then warming back up and some very warm air next week, and then some very warm air even carrying after that. It'll be closer to about 2 weeks out that we start to get into some colder batches of air across the middle portion of the country and off towards the east. But for the next 6 to 10 days, so this is pretty much next week's time frame, very warm across the middle portion of the country and even in towards much of the east as well. But the cold air takes over across the west, and that's why a lot of snow will be falling with those upcoming systems. You can see that cold weather there. But the models really like to moderate things pretty much across the north into the northeast. Watch some of this warm air across the middle portion of the country come further east. This is Tuesday. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Nice. Wednesday, similar story. Cold stays trapped into the upper plains, into the upper Midwest. Then some colder air comes on down, but still very warm for the south as we go late into next week. And then colder weather moves in briefly by the time we get towards next weekend. But this is a nice warm pattern. Snowfall, yes, there will be a little bit with those couple of systems, some spots picking up an inch or two between the couple of systems, but for the most part it's the leftovers of what the big storm was across the middle of the country, and then plenty of snow across the west will occur with those next few systems. But there's just not a ton. There's no big systems coming up as we go forward in the next week or so. But precipitation is certainly going to be around across portions of, let's say, Illinois and Michigan. It's going to be extremely wet across the west. We've kind of hit that point home a couple different times. I think after the next 10 days, things become a little bit more quiet and drier. This is the equatorial Pacific Ocean showing above average sea surface temperatures, which means that La Nina is going fully bye-bye. This is going to be a race. We're going to be replacing it probably by a El Nino. When that typically transitions as we go into the early spring, what does that mean for the United States? We're going to probably get into some more above average severe weather. We're going to probably get into some pretty decent temperature swings. And by the time this really establishes itself, maybe late April into May, probably some above average widespread temperatures across the middle and eastern portion of the nation.
Your Norcast weather update.